Hello, it's the second of my two videos today, as I'm in the area, efficiency and stuff. Now, I'm at the top of Ovenden Moor and there's a really good view of the wind farm. And I just want to explain a bit more about some of the problems, because it still amazes me how many people there are that just never heard of any problem with wind farms. I take it for granted because so many people I know, for everyone I know, is kind of on the same page. It always comes as a surprise to me when there's people with the opposite opinion, and I do welcome it. I like to talk to them, and that's the trouble, especially in my city at the moment. We've got Extinction Rebellion. They don't want to discourse. They don't want to talk. It's all about protests and placards. It's not just actually about sitting down and having a cup of tea. And I really go at it hammering tongs in my discourse sometimes online, but it's always just a kind of introductory, an introduction, I suppose, and it's done to kind of spark a discourse. I will always follow up my comments. I never delete any comments. Someone called me an effing lunatic, and I turned it around and said, yes, I am, because these things drove me that way, and that's my point. I was calm, and then these came along, and look at them. Look at them. Isn't that enough to drive anyone insane? I mean, just that looks mad to me. That is a visual representation of insanity in my mind. All these weird shapes, these sort of out of sync, out of phase, weird white kind of just artificial. It just looks mad, and I reckon that, in a way it's me that's sane by calling out the madness of this. Now, it's industrial equipment, it could be argued, so why the hell is it here on this mountain? And that's what we've got to look at in terms of planning. Nobody has the first idea about planning. People just say, oh, wind turbines, great. They don't stop and think about where we should put them, and the impact of putting them in the wrong places. This is Ovenden Moor. This is basically the easternmost of the, quote, Wuthering Heights, unquote, of the South Pennines, which is the strip that's unprotected between the highly protected Peak District and the highly protected Yorkshire Dales. And I think of it in terms of a computer hard drive. You've got two partitions that have both got virus scan on, and then you've got one that's got no virus scan. And here's the malware. This has come along. Is it generating electricity? Negligible for the land take and the impact. You can see this for 20-30 miles around. It's just what you get in return for this is negligible. It's peanuts, really, and it just seems basically like madness when you're talking to people about anything to do with climate change, anything to do with renewable energies. And when I say madness, I just mean not a rational discourse, not something that, we have a thesis, this is a point of view. No, we have an antithesis, the opposite. Let's work on a synthesis. Let's try and take the best of all worlds. I'm happy to do that. I want to do that. The reason I keep doing these videos is to spark conversations with people. I'm very glad that there's so many people see things the way I see it. But I want to reach out to people who might have a different opinion, and I want to talk to them. I want to challenge them, but I want them to challenge me too. I want the discourse. I want us as a society to look at this and to ask ourselves, is it really worth it? Let's pan out just so you can get an idea of where we're at and how otherwise unspoilt the whole thing is. And this is why it's such a blot on the landscape. It's basically putting an electricity power station here, and that's not the right place for it. No other energy form does this. No other energy form devours our upland landscapes, which are fragile at the best of times. This is the problem with wind, is the very places that you need it, is the places that are fragile and that are good for humans. Now, it's made me angry. It's made me de-energised. You don't come to the countryside to get angry. You come to the countryside to feel good, and then to be more positive, more natural, more kind of just in nature, and that's supposed to be good for you. So what this does is it takes energy from people, from animals, and it's just got a kind of angry vibe now. It's the whole area just feels unsettled for miles. They do have a vibration. That's not pseudoscience. It's not junk science. It's not made up. It's true. They have a vibration. Everything is a vibration. When you look how big they are and how out of sync they it's not a pleasant one. And it travels for miles and miles and miles. And it's not so much you hear it, but you feel it. You really do. It has an impact. It has a really bad impact. It makes this whole area... Look, have you noticed how few birds there are around here? It's actually kind of sterile. It's bad for the environment. It's ruined the environment for miles and miles around. What nature lover wants that there? And like I say, you just don't get this with other energy forms. So maybe we can have some wind farms at some places, but we need some sanity, and we need some honesty, and we don't want hidden agendas or people trying to make money or people with something to hide. We want free and open discourse about where we put these damn things. And anyone who's coming to Bronte country, this is what they can expect to find. Alright? So there we go. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a discourse. Let's have a two-way chat. Let's challenge each other, sure. But let's not just have silly placards and banners and getting in a paddy because someone comes and sort of throws a spanner in the works of a beloved renewables. All I want is a discourse. Okay, see you later, everybody.